5 years. It has taken Travis Scott 5 years to come out with a new album. And here it is. There's been a lot of discussion over this album online, some negative but mostly positive thoughts on it. It's by far the best performing album of the year sales and numbers wise, but there's a big question to be asked. Was the wait worth it? This video is gonna be my thoughts on the album and a review of it, song by song. I'm going to explain what I think of every song and at the end decide, do I think that the wait for the album was worth it? So let's just get into it with the intro of the album, Hyena, where Travis showcases that he continues to make great intros. Hyena is great, I love the drums on it and Travis actually raps very well over it. Lyrics wise there's not really a theme, I guess it's just Travis bragging, but Hyena is some of the most Travis has rapped on any song, to be honest. He's just straight up rapping. Utopia does feature a lot of rapping from Travis and for the most part I think it's good. So I'd actually like to see a full-on rapping album from Travis, like a focused rapping album from Travis Scott. I think that would be pretty cool. Then we have Thank God, which grew on me a lot. At first it felt a little too empty, but no, as I've listened to the album more, I really like this instrumental and I love when the melody changes and the drums slowly come in. The chorus is great, Casey does his thing on there, and generally it's a really big sounding song. It's pretty mysterious, which is what I think Travis was trying to achieve, and yeah, I like it. Then we have Modern Jam, which is another song that actually grew on me, if you're not realizing a theme here. At first it just sounded like a complete ripoff off of Jesus. I mean, this whole project is heavily inspired by Jesus, but this song is like, it's a different level of inspired. It's like copying Jesus. But hey, I've listened to it more and I actually really like it. The chorus, I guess if you can call it a chorus, this part over here, it's cool. I like what's going on there with the vocal effects on Travis and how big he sounds. And also, Tizo Touchdown killed it. Maybe my favorite feature on the album. Brought more personality in just as the song was about to get dry and he saved it. And his part is very catchy. I've had it stuck in my head since the song came out. So up to this point, I mean, I'm loving the album, but we have the next two tracks, My Eyes and God's Country. This is a really unpopular opinion based on what I've been seeing online, but I enjoy the first half of My Eyes so much more. I actually think it's pretty cool and inspiring in a way, like it kind of awakes something in me. I want to just do something with it, like I want to make some form of music when I listen to it. And I love music like this and it's grown on me a lot as well, so there's that. But the second half is worse. It ruins what I liked about My Eyes. This sad sounding, really auto-tuned, dissonant song just turns into a trap beat and it throws everything it had going for it out the window. I really like his auto-tune and his delivery and flow. Honestly really catchy, but I always skip the second half. I just like always, I can't listen to it. It ruins the whole song for me. And God's Country is just like, God's Country is barely a song, come on. It's a sample chop that's 2 minutes long with one verse from Travis. Nothing else. That's literally it. I don't see why this is on the album. I guess I can see how some people like it. It's not that, I guess, like, out there. It's just, it exists. That's as much as I have to say about it. But yeah, I don't like it. It sounds so empty and unfinished to me. Thankfully, after that, we move on to track 6, which is Sirens, which may be my favorite song on the project. The drums here are very good. The whole beat sounds dark and evil, and Travis is just rapping his ass off on here. I really like his delivery on this track. And then the second half of the song is even better with this weird vocal chop that gets added as part of the drums. Travis's flow here is great and this is one of his best songs, period. Not just on this album, but in general. He's still not really rapping about anything, but I guess he's just, you know, rapping. That's the thing I would have liked to see, more of a theme from him because of how he built up Utopia to be, just kind of image that he made up for it. I thought there would be more of a meaning to it, but I guess that was mostly just done for imagery. I find that a bit pretentious, but it is what it is. We have an outro by Drake on Sirens that helps us transition into Meltdown where he is featured. And I mean, yeah, he's great on here. Travis doesn't do as well on the first beat, but once the beat switches, he kills it. It's such a good flow and it's so catchy. Next we have Fiend, which is, well, it's okay. Travis's verse is pretty good and Cardi does just okay. He's actually the worst part of the song here for me. The chorus is fine and his verse is fine, but honestly it's nothing more than that to me. I would have expected a little bit more from a Playboy Cardi x Travis Scott collab, but I guess not. After that is Del Resto, which is one of the most puzzling songs on this album for me. It's still tripping me up. I really like the basis of it, like, you know, the skeleton of it, and I also like Beyonce on it, but I don't know, man, there's just something about it that's not clicking for me and making me not want to come back to it. I think if it was down to me, I'd still have this song on the project, but I'd have it completely reworked. Like, I think that could maybe save the song, having it just completely redone, completely reworked, while still keeping the idea of it there. I know marks the halfway mark of the album, and it's the last great song before a bit of a dry area on the album, which I'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, I know is amazing. I remember thinking that this gave me Mafia vibes, and I love that song too, so finding out that this actually replaced it was, you know, pretty cool. I don't know if I like it as much as Mafia, because I love that song. I love what's happening with the vocals on there. And also the J. Cole cameo, I didn't even realize that was J. Cole. It's crazy that J. Cole is on that song. But back to I Know, I'm not mad that it replaced it. You know, Mafia had been out for over a year, I think, or at least close to that. So maybe it felt a bit lazy for Travis to put the song on there. He wanted to replace it with something similar, and I Know works very well. It's a really catchy song. Travis sounds defeated on here, to be honest, and that's what makes it really good for me. You can feel emotion from him. The beat is simple and a little sad, which helps. But yeah, a really catchy song. The clip of 60,000 people singing the chorus out loud at the same time is really cool. And then we have the next 4 tracks. Utopia, Twins, Circus Maximus, Parasail, and Schizo. This is the dry area of the album that I was talking to you about, and it ruins the flow of the album, like a lot. Utopia Twins is something that I can see being a middle tier track on Birds in the Trap. Actually, it's not even middle tier, it's like one of the worst tracks on there. It would be one of the worst tracks on there, I mean. Doesn't fit this album at all. The album has a certain aesthetic to it, and this song just doesn't match it. Circus Maximus is another one of those songs that I think needs to be completely reworked. It just doesn't stick for me. Travis's whole verse needs to go, cause what in the black skinhead is this? But yeah, as far as Travis and the Weeknd collabs go, this is probably the worst one. Parasail is the worst song on the project for me. It just feels like one long interlude and ruins the flow of the project. And Schizo is way too long. This song does not need to be 6 minutes long. This part of the album does ruin it a bit for me. It takes away from it a lot because it had a little thing going for it through the first 10 tracks. Yes, even though I did find some songs to be worse than others, majority of them were good. And then we have just this 4-track run that's it's subpar to say the least. Then we move on to Lost Forever, and oh my god, I am so mad. This would have been easily the best song on the album. In the leaked version, there is like a 30-second intro to the song that adds so much atmosphere to it. It's actually crazy. It's also mixed slightly differently, which I actually like way more, and most importantly, the beat is the same for West Side Gun's part, which he flows over so well. It would have been one of the best features Travis has ever had. This would have been one of Travis's best songs, but sadly, number 1, there's no intro to it. Number 2, it's mixed differently. And number 3, the beat completely switches on West Side Gun's part. Now with all that being said, the idea of the song is still there and it does sound good even with the beat switch, so I still like it, but what could have been? I'm gonna be forever mad at Travis. Love with Kid Cudi is an old song that he put on here and you can kind of tell, but you know, I love it. I'd say it's the most underrated song on the album. Cudi is decent, Trav kills it, and I love the beat mostly. The 17th track is K-pop. I mean, look, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's just okay. It's like Travis was hunting for a hit with this one. When it first released, it caused me a lot of panic for Utopia, not gonna lie. Thankfully, it's one of the worst songs on here, though still, it could have done without it. Telekinesis, also known as Future Sounds by Kanye. Travis took it from him and finished it. I will say, since I made my ranking and has grown a bit of me, I've re-listened to it a lot to see what I've been missing out on. I like it a little bit more. I like the chorus, but Future is just okay for me, and SZA could have been godly, but I don't like the mix on her vocals, just too big and noisy. Maybe it'll grow on me even more than it has. Honestly, I'm hoping that it will, because I wanna like it. I wanna see what other people see in it. I hope it grows on me. That's all I'm saying. And then the outro, Till Further Notice, is actually pretty good. I really like James Blake on here in the use of trap drums with his voice. Metro did his thing on the production. The worst part of the song is by far 21 Savage, and I feel like we could have done without both of his features, but it is what it is. I still like this song, and it's a good outro. Travis's verse on here is one of his best from this project, so yeah. And that's Utopia. Subject matter is all over the place on this project, so that's one thing I don't like about it. I thought it would have been more focused on one thing, on Utopia to say, but you don't really see Travis work on that concept at all. There is a clear aesthetic to it though. Even though Travis is biting a lot from Kanye and Yeezus on here, he does have his name splattered on it. Utopia is a combination of all of Travis's previous sounds, including his work on Yeezus, because if you don't know, he did produce on Yeezus. The album has grown on me a lot, and it's an interesting part in Travis's career. I believe that the wait was indeed worth it for this album, because it's something new for Travis, and even though it might not be his most consistent album, and I think it has some bad songs on it, it does have a lot of good ideas, a a lot of good moments, and plenty of tracks to come back to. I'm gonna give this project a decent to strong 7 out of 10. But yeah, that's my review. Tell me what you guys think of the album. If you liked it, tell me why. If you didn't, also tell me why. I'm looking to hear your guys' opinions. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It'll mean so much to me, as it'll help push my video and my channel into the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Peace!